Is she coming? Is she coming? Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, Trinny. Very good, thank you. How are you today?
I'm all right, my love. Just kind of, you know, recommitting to a mission of health. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so let's get started with some mobility. You're going to come over to your mat, and I want you to place your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. How is your back feeling today, Trinny?
It's all right. I've had my lovely woman come along for about 3 or 4 times to sort of work with it, so we're in a good position.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I want you to flex and extend your spine. Deep breath in to flex and then exhale to extend. And actually, that's a good lesson. If something doesn't feel good, it's really listen to your body. If you think, oh, I'm just trying to push through to get the reps done, stop, don't do it. But we're all guilty of it. I've done it myself as well. And it's because you think, oh no, but I need to keep going.
Yeah.
Going to go for one more flex, one more extend. Come to your neutral spine, and I want you to lengthen out into a high plank so we can go into a lizard stretch. So you're lifting your knees, your feet are down, your hands are underneath your shoulders, and you're going to bring your right foot forwards. So we can go into the lizard stretch. So you either start off in that high plank position, bring your right foot forwards, or you can, that's it, and then you're going to take a deep breath in and reach your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, reach underneath your left arm. If you feel like you want to take this down a level, you can keep your left knee down on the ground and have your right foot forwards. And
Sorry,
then
I'm totally lost what we're doing, darling. So this is not the one where I'm just putting my leg out.
No, it's the other one that we do, which is similar, but you're instead of your leg coming out to the side, your one leg is forward and one leg is back. And your knee is lifted. So you're in sort of a very deep lunge position.
Okay.
And then you reach. So you want to have that's it, perfect. And then you're going to lift your arm up to the sky. Deep breath in. Your right, so the same side. So if your right foot is forwards, you reach your right arm up to the sky.
My left foot is forward, so I bring my
So then you're going to reach your left arm up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you reach underneath your right arm. So reaching under. And then you reach up again, open up the chest, get in that spinal mobility, so that's rotation. Going for another 2. And last one. Then you're going to place that hand down, send the foot back, bring the other foot forward, so you bring your right foot forwards, and then you reach your right arm up. Deep breath in to reach, and exhale, reach underneath your left arm. And you want to try and lower your shoulder down. So you're lowering that right shoulder as much as you can. Then you're going to feel a deeper stretch within your inner thighs, but also the outer thighs, so around the muscles around the hips. Last 2. One more. Place that hand down, bring the foot back. And then I want you to place your knees down on the mat, and you're going to push back into a child's pose. We're just going to stretch the side of the body. So you're reaching your arms forwards, your knees are apart, your feet are together, and you walk your hands over to the right. For now, you place your right hand on top of your left, and you're going to pull into the left side of your body. So you feel a stretch underneath the armpit on that left side. And then come back to the center. You're going to reach around to the left. Place your right hand on the ground. You're going to place your left hand on top of your right and pull into that right side. Then you come back to the center. Slowly roll up, roll those shoulders back a few times. And you're going to get started with your first exercise. So you can come up onto your feet. You're going to actually get started in a plank walkout. So with this one, you can either squat down and walk your hands out into a plank, or you can roll down and walk your hands out into a plank, and then walk your hands back towards your feet and roll up. Okay, so you've got 60 seconds here. You're going to either squat down and walk the hands out, or keep your legs straight and walk your hands out into the high plank for 1 minute. Then you're going to do another exercise. Then we're going to go back to the beginning. So this exercise will feature quite a lot today. Good, big stretch. And this is a nice one because you're very gently raising the heart rate. You're firing up lots of muscles. Getting those arms nice and warm, getting a little bit of a stretch into the backs of the legs, and you're challenging your core as well. You're halfway through this one, you've got 30 seconds to go. Good. And you want to try and keep your hips as still as possible when you're walking your hands out into that plank, because that's what's going to challenge the core the most, especially the obliques, the side of the stomach. You're here for 15 more seconds.
How do I protect my lower back? So you're taking me straight into exercises which actually kill my lower back.
So is this...
If we're doing this all day, I can't join you.
Okay, so I'm going to switch...
I've got to be a little bit careful on that, not to go straight back into what killed my back. So if the whole basis is this, I'm worried.
Yeah, so this is just... If this is... do you feel pain when you're doing this?
Well, no, it's just... I just got to look after myself, but I said to you, this is what pulled my back up.
Yeah,
you just said this is the basis of all our exercises today.
So we'll do one more, and then that's just going to be your warm up, and then we're going to go into glute bridges, and then it won't feature again.
Okay, I just got worried when you said this is the base of everything today. So I thought we were doing.
Oh, sorry, no, I meant this.
I thought we were doing bands.
Oh no, we're doing bands. This is just the warm up exercise.
Okay.
So you're going to do one more. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Sorry, I wasn't very clear then. And stop. Now you're going to grab your mini band and then place it just above your knees.
Which strength, darling?
If your back's still a little sore, then go for a medium strength one rather than the heaviest one. So go for a medium one. If you go for a heavier one, of course, you're going to fire up your glutes a little bit more. Then you're going to lie down on your back. Have your heels down just above the knees. So just above the knees, this one's going. Now you're going to place your heels down on the mat and then tuck your hips in, lift up into your glute bridge and push the knees out 3 times with the band just above your knees. And then you roll back down. And again, you tuck in, lift up, squeeze the butt as much as you can. 3 pushes out into the band. 3, 2, 1, roll down. Trinny, how's your back with the glute bridge?
It's fine.
Okay, good. And if you feel any sort of pain, then just lower halfway and focus on keeping your hips as neutral as possible. So you don't overly tuck in, but you're also not pushing your butt back either.
Yeah.
You're here for another 20 seconds, and then we'll go into a little hold. That's it, lifting up, pushing those knees right out, staying on your heels because that's going to fire at the backs of the legs a little bit more. You have another 2. Lift, pulse, 3, 2, 1. One more. After this, you're going to lift, hold, pulse 3 times out to the side, and then you're going to do 10 pulses up with the glute maximus, the big glute. So push those knees out and hold, 10 pulses up to the sky. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll down. Okay, coming into some side lying work now. So going to come into clam shells with the band on. You can prop your head on your hand just to keep your upper body slightly more lifted. And I want you to lift the top knee. So you feel the muscles around the hip contract and then lower. You lift, lower. So your feet stay connected and it's just that top knee lifting.
So my feet are still on the ground?
Yes, exactly. Okay. And actually this is a fantastic one if you've if your back's not feeling great.
And are my also my soles of my feet in line with my bottom or not?
Yep, so your heels are in line with your butt and then your knees are forward. So you're in a classic clamshell position.
Okay.
And you can either relax your head down or have your head lifted on your hand. It's up to you. You're here for another 3, for 2, 1 more lift and hold, and it's just a static hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. You're going to switch to do the same on the other side now. So you're lying on your left side. Heels are in line with your butt, and then your knees are slightly forwards. And you're going to lift that right knee and lower so that you feel that you're activating the hip stabilizer, which is the sort of side butt muscle higher up the glute, or the glute complex. You're going to lift, really, really squeeze, and then lower the leg. Not bringing it all the way down, so you're not completely relaxing between repetitions. And you're working with the breath as well, so it's an exhale to lift and an inhale to lower. You're here for another 4, 3, 2, lift and hold your next one for 5 seconds. Hold it, see if you can lift a little higher. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, we're back to the first exercise because we're adding on every time we do a round. So I want you to lie down on your back, heels down. So it feels easy to begin with, but with enough repetitions, you're definitely going to start to fatigue the muscles. I want you to have your heels down on the mat. You're going to tuck your hips, lift up into your glute bridge, 3 pulses out with your knees. And then you roll back down. So you tuck in, lift into that glute bridge, really squeezing the butt, getting those hamstrings working. Push the knees out 3 times. And then bring your hips back down onto the mat. And you are here for 60 seconds in total. Good. Nice, Trinny. If you have your toes turned up to the sky, you may feel a little bit more activation through the back of the leg. That's it. And you focus on bringing the pelvis towards the belly button. Going for another 3 here. Good. 2 to go, and then you've got some pulses up. So you're rolling down, lifting. Lift, pulse the knees out 3 times. Sit, lift and hold, pulse those knees out. 3, 2, 1, roll down. You've got 1 more, you lift and hold. Do the 3 pulses, knees out to the side, and then 10 pulses up to the sky. So you're gonna lift, pulse out, 3, 2, 1, hold it there, 10 pulses up, go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, keep pushing the knees out, 2, 1, roll all the way down, and you're back into the clam shell for round 2, and then we're adding on another exercise. So turning onto your side, start off on the same side as you were just on. So left side to begin with. Band is just above your knees. If the band becomes too much with this exercise,
too little.
okay, so then you can switch it for the heavier one.
Yeah, I just feel I'm not feeling it when we do those
Clam shells.
Or I really feel it now, but I wasn't feeling it when we did the other one.
Yeah. Okay, so lying on your side, you're going to lift and lower the knee. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And it's 30 seconds with a 5-second isometric hold. Sit, feet stay together. And they are down on the mat. If you're still not feeling it quite as much as you would like to, you can bring your legs back a little bit, tuck the hips in, so you've got that straight line going from your knees up towards your chest, and then you come into the clam shell. So your hip is in an extension. Sometimes you feel more activation that way. You've got 2 more. Lift and hold your next one for 5 seconds. So you're going to lift, hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Let's switch to do the same on the other side. And then we're adding on a new exercise. So, knees are forwards. You're going to lift that right knee this time and lower. And these are good exercises to do, seeing as you were off last week, so it's a nice one to get back into it. Nice little circuit. So really lifting and feel. You can also put your hand or put your thumb on the glute medius, just to feel that it is activating, because you should feel.
Remind me what the glute medius is again.
So it's the top part. I'll just show you. So you've got the glute maximus, which is the big bit here, and then the medius, which is up here, almost to the side.
Okay, I feel it. I feel it.
Good. You got 2 more. Lift and hold your next one for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and stop there. Okay. Now you're going to lie on your back, and I want you to take the band off actually. So the band is going to come off, and you're going to come into an ab exercise. Lift your feet, have your toes together, your knees apart, hands behind your head. So you create a diamond shape with your legs. You're going to lift your chest, lower your right foot down, tap, then head comes back down onto your mat. Lift your chest again, lower your left foot down, tap, lift, lower your head, tap the foot, and you're going to keep going from side to side. And this one is really great for getting the lower abdominals active, as well as the obliques a little bit. So it's a bit of side of the stomach work and the top of the abs.
Same leg or not? Same side? Different
leg. So we're going from side to side. If you feel like you want to work a little harder, keep your chest lifted and keep going with the toe taps. So the chest stays in the air, and you're just tapping one foot down and then the other, but maintain the bent knee position. And you want to keep an imprint of your spine, so that lower back stays on the mat. Elbows stay nice and wide, and you lift your chest a little higher if you can. Good, you're here for another 4, for 3, 2, and 1 more. Okay, then have a little rest. We're actually back to that glute bridge exercise. So I want you to place that band on. If you want to go for that heavier one this time, Trinny. And this time we're going to do a slightly different variation of the glute bridge. Keep it mixed up. So you're lying down on your back, heels down on your mat, toes turned up to the sky. You're going to lift your hips, lift your right leg, put the heel back down, lift your left leg, put the heel back down. So then we're getting into the hamstrings a little bit more. Then you can roll back down onto.
Sorry, am I putting the thing above my thigh? I can't remember.
Just above your knees. So generally in a glute bridge, if you're using bands, it's always going to be just above your knees. So you lift, and then we go for that march. So you lift, and you keep the hips as still as possible. So you're not tilting down. You're really using your core muscles to keep that stability.
What should I really be focused on using here, darling? What should I feel? My
hamstrings more than anything. You are going to feel your stomach muscles a little bit, but more so you're going to feel your hamstrings. So you've got that band that's providing resistance for the backs of the legs. So they have to work extra hard in order to keep your hips lifted. And if you don't feel, because we've been working out for a while, if you don't feel it very intensely, just lift and hold for 3 seconds, place the heel down, lift the other leg, hold it 3 seconds, place the heel down, and keep your hips lifted rather than rolling up and down. So there's always a way of adding that intensity. And you want to keep squeezing as much as you can. The moment your hips start to drop, you're losing that muscle connection. So you can always reset by rolling down and then rolling back up again. You're here for another 15 seconds, and then we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. How's your back feeling with this one, Trinny?
Okay.
Good. So resetting, you lift, hips are tucked. Lift, lower. Your next one, you're going to lift and hold. And bring your right leg into a tabletop. Right leg in tabletop, then go for little pulses up with the left side. So little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down to reset for a second. Both heels are down. You lift those hips again. Lift your left leg into a tabletop. And then 10 pulses up. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Now you're into that clam shell. So if you want to make this one a little bit more intense, You could come up onto your forearm and lift your hips so you're in a modified side plank position, and your whole body is in a nice straight line now. So your knees are no longer forwards, they are back. But if you want to continue
this straight line.
So yes, so your heels are back rather than in line with your
got you. Yeah.
And then you can lift your hips so you're in a modified side plank, and then you can come into that clamshell, which is going to be a lot more difficult. So you lift and lower the knee, because then you're getting in that, the right glute now plays a role because it's lifting you. Your arm is working, your triceps, your shoulder, and your obliques, the side of the stomach. And it's just for 30 seconds with that little hold. Hips stay tucked in. And sometimes these small exercises where you're not jumping around can be the most difficult ones. I think this is one of those variations which is really tough. You're here for another 10 seconds and then you have the hold. Making sure to breathe out every time you lift the leg. Going for another 3. Go for 2. Lift and hold your next one for 5. Lift that knee nice and high. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Let's switch to do the same on the other side now. So either going with the first variation that we did where you're lying down, but of course if you did the plank variation just now, then you're going to do that on this side to keep your muscles balanced. So hips are tucked in, that left shoulder is stepped back and down, lift your hips, and then you're going to lift that right leg. You exhale to lift, inhale to lower, and you'll notice that the right side is pretty fatigued from this one because it was lifting you up just now when you were lifting the left leg. Keeping those hips really tucked in and extended so you're not pushing your bum back. Halfway, 15 seconds to go. Going for another 3. Go for 2. 1 more and stop. You're going to come back down. Take the band, 5-second hold. I missed that one. Sorry, Jenny. You're going to lift and hold that knee up for 5 seconds. Good. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Now you can come down. Now you can take that band off. And you're going into that ab exercise. And then we're adding on another exercise. And then that's that part of the circuit done. And we're on to a new series of exercises. So you're lying down, legs are lifted in a tabletop, toes are together, knees are apart, hands behind your head. Take a deep breath in. You're going to lift the chest on that out breath, tap your right toes down, lift the knee, head comes back down, lift your chest again, then tap your left toes down, lift and lower. And you can keep your chest lifted, as I said before, if you want a bit more of a challenge here, because then your abdominals have to hold that contraction the entire time. That's it. And with your knees apart, your lower abdominals have to engage a little bit more. Good. And if you can, try and lift that chest a little bit higher. You're here for another 25 seconds. Good. Drawing that navel down towards your spine. Perfect. Lift that chest even higher if you can. You've got 10 seconds. Good. Going for another 2. 1 more. And rest for a second. Okay, you're going to come up onto your feet. Good. And you're going to come into a reverse lunge sequence.
I'm just going to get some water.
Okay, no problem at all. Yes, good water break. I've been keeping you working the whole time without any rest. So grab a sip of water if you need. And then for the next one, if you do have some weights or some books, you can use them to add that resistance and make it a little bit more difficult. Just reading the comments. Okay. So yeah, if you do have weights, you can go for around 5 kilos or more each, really depends on your own strength, or just a pile of heavy books, whatever you have to hand. Okay, Trinny, so you can either use weights or some books for this, or nothing at all. We're going to go into reverse lunges. Okay, so we're going into reverse lunges. Shoulders are set back. You're going to have your left foot forwards as you take a step back with your right foot, lower, and then drive up nice and fast, switch sides. So you're quickly going from side to side. Shoulders are pulled back, hips are tucked in. The weight is coming up or pushing down through your heel at the front. So
you show me sideways on. I want to see the position of your back.
So I'm actually coming into more of an upright lunge. So my torso's quite lifted rather than leaning forwards too much. So it's more of a 90-degree lunge. Hips are tucked in slightly. If you do want to lean forwards a little bit because it feels more comfortable, you can do. And you're just keeping your arms down next to your hips rather than going into bicep curls. Although, you know, go into bicep curls if you want to. Add in that extra little bit of arm work.
I just feel it gives more rhythm in a way to it, Nat.
That's fine. Do come into bicep curls. You could even come into a bicep curl and a shoulder press. There's so many different variations.
Now you're going mad.
Okay, and you want to try and sink the leg that is coming back. Try and sink that back knee down as much as you can. So if you've got the books, you can hold them just in front of your chest because you won't be able to really bring them down anymore. Keep those shoulders pulled back. You're here for another 30 seconds. And then you're done with this circuit and we're on to a whole new round of exercises. And it's going to be a little faster paced. Perfect, Trinny. 20 seconds to go. Good. Alternating from, are you switching side to side?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm switching leg, yeah.
Yeah, good. Keep pulling the shoulders back as well, because if you're holding weight, sometimes they want to pull your shoulders forwards. So you engage your back muscles to help keep the shoulders pulled back. You've got 2. Go for 1 more. And then stop. Put those weights down. If you need to grab a sip of water, grab a sip of water. We're about to go into a new set of exercises. And you're going to be using the band. And this time the band is going around the mid-shin area. So feet go through the band and the band comes up to you just below the knees or sort of halfway between your ankles and your knees. And then we're going to get into a squat. So a little bit of leg work. And you want to go for a heavy band here as well. So if you've got a set of bands, the heaviest one is going to be the best. And then we'll get started. I've got 3 different exercises for you that you're going to do 3 times. Anyone got any questions while we're waiting? Oh, and I'm doing a class tomorrow at 7:45 AM. If you want to join that, it's going to be a little more intense this week than last week. And you can book over Zoom or via my website. And it's fun too.
Sorry, darling.
Right, yes, that's quite all right. So Trinny, that band is going just below your knees.
Okay. Which one? The strong one?
Yes, strong one.
Yeah.
So just below the knees, and you're going to come into a squat with a rotation. So I want you to take a step back, squat, come forwards, squat, and then step back into the opposite direction. So you're sort of swiveling on your feet. So squat, squat, squat. So there's a little bit of movement here. You're getting The legs really working because you're not really coming out of the squat. It's quite fast paced. You push the knees right out to the side. That's it. Get nice and low. Step back. Shoulders are back. Keep pushing those knees out. And you're going to feel the muscles around the hips as well as feeling that leg, the quadriceps working here. Little movements. You don't need any weight for this one because you've got the band, which is applying that resistance. Get nice and low. Keep pushing those knees out. Going for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there in the center. So you're going to stay nice and low. And you're going to push those knees right out 10 times. So little pulses out with those knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Okay. Now we're going to isolate more the glute medius. So the band is going to go to around your ankles. So band around the ankles. And you're going to have your hips pushed back, shoulders set back, knees bent. And I want you to lift your right foot, go for little pulses up. If you need to hold on to something in front of you, you absolutely can do. Little tiny pulses, really squeezing the back of that right glute, but the left side is working quite a lot here because it's working as your stabilizer. So little pulses up. The foot is flexed. So if you're lifting the right leg, your right foot is flexed, toes turned down to the ground. Little movements. And this one is tough mostly on that supporting leg. Keep the hips turned down so you're not rotating too much. You're nice and neutral. And you're here for another 15 seconds. Good. Just lightly holding onto the side if you are holding on.
I'm not feeling it at all in my standing leg. I'm feeling it in my...
In the lifting leg. Okay, so bend that, the standing leg, you're going to bend it a little bit more. Push the hips back and just very, very lightly hold on. I want you to push that knee out to the side a little bit. So the leg that you are balancing on, the standing leg, push the knee out to the side a tiny bit. Keep the leg that you're pushing back completely straight. Completely straight. You're here for 3, 2, 1, and switch. So now if you were just lifting your right leg, you're going to lift your left leg. The foot is flexed, right knee bent, little pulses up. Keeping that left leg as straight as possible and really squeezing the glute maximus. Right leg stays bent and stationary. If you do need to hold on to something, then please do for your balance and try and keep that left leg super, super straight. Over halfway through.
Sorry, I feel a lot more in my back than anywhere else.
In your back. Okay. Rest for a couple of seconds. Or you can take the band off and just do it without the band.
I'm just going to do it with a weaker band now. Because all I feel it in is my lower back. I'm not feeling it in my legs. So
you're not feeling it in your legs either?
I don't know. I can't.
No, sometimes your lower back muscles do work in this. And if you have... so if they were a little bit tender before, you're probably really feeling them because they haven't fully recovered yet. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay. I want you to take that band off. You're going to come into a reciprocal reach now. So have your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips on the mat. You don't need your band on now. So the band is going to come off. And I want you to reach your right arm forwards and your left leg back, and you're going to hold it for 3, 2, 1. Then you place the hand down, knee down, and then you switch to do the same on the other side. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Then hand down, knee down, and then switch. If you want to take this up a level, you could try hovering the opposite knee, and that's really, really tough on the core, but also the balance. So, big reach. Fully lengthening that leg, engaging the back, keeping those hips tucked. Nice. And lifting the arm as high as you can so you are getting in a little bit of back work. Good, lifting that arm. And I want you to flex the foot as you reach that leg back. So your toes are turned down to the ground as if you're bringing your footprint back against a wall. You're going for another 3. Good, go for 2. And you've got 1 more, and then we're going to come into a little bear plank hold. So place the hand down, the knee down, and now you hover your knees in the air, lifting the belly button. You're here for 20 seconds, upper mid-back lifted, belly button lifted, back is flat like a table. And this is a nice variation of a plank if you do feel like your back is in pain. So you want to be on your hands here, Trinny. So your hands are down, that's it, and your knees are lifted. Good, you're here for another 10. Sit, holding, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place those knees down. Come up onto your feet, you're going to grab your band, and we're going into the squat and with the pivot exercise. So there's 3 little squats. Band is just below the knees. Good, so grab a drink if you need between the reps. You've got another 15 seconds recovery. So sip of water if you need, and then you're going into the squat. And you can go for quite a heavy band here. That's how you're really going to feel it. Okay, so turning back, starting in the squat, then you pivot to the right, back to the center, pivot to the left. Your toes are slightly turned out. You're really pushing your knees out to the side. And if you do feel like you need a little bit of rest, you can just keep the band on and come into static air squat. So you're lowering and then lifting. Otherwise, you keep those legs bent, knees pushed out, hips pushed back. 25 seconds to go. This one raises the heart rate ever so slightly. Good, keep pushing those knees out to the side so you're not letting them collapse in. You keep working those hip stabilizers. You've got another 2, 1, back to the center, hold it, bring the knees in and then push them out 10 times. Stay nice and low. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, you can take that band off. We'll do a different exercise instead of that standing one, just because I don't want you to feel that your lower back is fatiguing too much. You're going to stand in a nice wide stance. And I want you to come into a side lunge and then come back to the center. So you keep switching from side to side. Every time you come to the center, you tuck the hips, squeeze the butt. So you inhale, exhale, inhale, go into the lunge, exhale, drive up out of it. You can start to use the arms. So you reach your arms forwards as you side lunge, and then pull your shoulders back when you are in the standing position. And you're here for another 30 seconds. Good. Keep the feet turned forward. Sorry, Trinny, toes are parallel. So your feet are like number 11s. You're really pushing your bum back, keeping the neck lengthened. Pull the shoulders back, rotating the palms forwards when you stand. Let's go for another 4. Good. Go for 3, 2, last one, and stop. You're going to come into the reciprocal reach, hands down on your mat, knees down. So reciprocal reach and then the bear plank. I want you to reach your right arm forwards and your left leg back. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, hand down, knee down. Then you switch left arm forwards, right leg back. 3, 2, 1, hand down, knee down. Keep your body as still as possible. There's no rocking from side to side. You keep the hips tucked in. You maintain that nice length by lifting your arm really high up towards the sky. Good. Going for another 4. Flexing the foot. Go for 3. Lovely. 2. You've got 1 more, and then you're in that bear plank hold. Hand down, knees down. So hands are down on the mat. Knees are underneath your hips. You're going to lift your knees, hover them in the air. Keep your hands down on the mat. Upper mid back is domed, so you're bringing the shoulder blades towards the front of the ribs. Belly button lifted. Static hold. Just holding. Good. And you want to bring those shoulder blades towards the front of the ribs. Nice. Holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. And it's time to stretch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have a little rest there in child's pose. And then you can use your band to help stretch the back of your leg. So to turn over, lie on your back. Place the foot in the band and extend your right leg up to the sky. So, and you're going to push your heel up towards the sky. You bend and extend. So when you're lying down, you're going to have a nice stretch for the hamstrings and for the calf muscles.
Sorry, darling, I'm just getting myself sorted.
It's okay. Good.
Okay.
So foot is in the band. Right foot is in the band. Left leg is out nice and straight. And then you're going to extend that right leg up, and you can bend and extend the leg. So you're gently coming in and out of the stretch. Deep breath in to bend the knee. Exhale to extend the leg. You're here for another 5 reps of bending and extending. 4. Go for 3. Nice. 2. And 1 more. Extend and hold that leg straight. You're going to take hold of the band in your left hand and pull it over towards your left shoulder. You can either keep hold of the band in your right hand as well, or place the right arm out to the side just to help anchor you down. And if you're quite tight in the calves, you're going to feel the stretch the most there. Or if it's in the hamstrings, you'll feel it there. Or maybe it's the side of the leg and you're feeling a bit tight around the knees, in which case you'll feel it there. Hold here for another 3, 2, and 1. Back to the center. You're going to bend that right knee, then lift your left leg, place your left foot in the ground, and lengthen your right leg along the ground. Then you go into that active stretch again. You bend and extend the leg, pushing your heel towards the sky when you straighten out the leg. You always want to try and relax as much as possible when you're doing these stretches. So Trinny, you're on a health mission now.
Yeah, I am. Because, you know, I've had this picking up and putting down cigarettes, and I just think this weekend, and I was just thinking, actually, I just want to just, you know, I did 3, you know, I don't smoke that much, but I like during the beginning of lockdown for 3 months solidly, I didn't, and now I'm just intermittently picking up, and I just don't like it, so
yeah,
I just want to, I sort of feel, I want to commit to it.
Yeah, good. And you can.
Yeah. So it just means I have to change my patterns, like I won't have coffee, and you know, I just have to change my morning patterns. So I'm going to do intermittent fasting today. Because always when I've eaten something or when I have coffee, there's certain things I associate. There's sort of ritualistic things I associate. So I want to just not have them.
You've said that before, that if you have a coffee, then you think, oh, cigarette.
Yeah.
So now you're going to keep.
It's my go to the loo mechanism.
Yeah.
You know.
So you need to find some other mechanisms for that, some healthier alternatives.
Yeah.
You're going to extend that leg now and pull it over towards your right shoulder, keeping the band in your right hand this time, and your left arm can come out to the side. Well, at least you know you can do it because you've done it before, so you can do it again.
Yeah, that's very true.
Holding for 3, 2 and 1. Come back to the center. You're going to take your foot out of the band. And I want you to place your feet flat down on the ground and just tuck and lift your hips so you can release the front of the hip. And then roll back down, turn over. You're going to push yourself up and we'll come into a hip flexor stretch. So your right foot is forwards, your left knee is down on the ground, hips tucked in. And then reach your left arm up to the sky, lean over to the right. And you can take hold of the left wrist in your right hand to deepen the stretch. And taking some really deep breaths there, holding for another 5, 3, 2 and 1. Come back to the center. Right knee down, left foot forwards, hips tucked. Reach your right arm up and then lean to the left. Come back to the center. Place the hands down just so you can stand up, and I want you to relax there for a couple of seconds. Take hold of your left wrist in your right hand, and you need to pull the hand over to the right. So you're getting a gentle stretch for the side of the back. Then come back to the center. Pull your right hand over to the left. Come back to the center. Shrug off those shoulders a couple of times. Shake off the head, and then slowly stack up. Roll your shoulders back, set them down, and you're ready for Monday.
Thank you, my darling Nat. That was a good start. That was a good start, and we're really going for it this week. What are we going to do? On Wednesday, yeah.
We could do more of an upper body focused workout, and then Friday full body and include a bit more cardio. Ready, because then you've got the weekend to recover, and by then your back should be feeling pretty much back to normal, and energy levels will hopefully be there even though it's a Friday, because I always find I've got more energy on a Friday.
Rodette, and just a few ladies. Rodette, I'm sorry you're not well and not sleeping, and go and get yourself sorted, darling. Don't sit with it by yourself. And just love the support on the community, Nat. So what else was I going to say? Yes, that's it really. See you Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Yes, perfect.
And everybody have a really great day.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.